Hello everyone, I'm Chris with Dream Studios. I am back with a new video, so let's get started. This is a companion video to the 2025 ET 3D print model video I recently published. The files for this project are available through the links in this video's description. In this video, I'll give you some tips and tricks for achieving the best results from these 3D parts on a resin 3D printer. I'm going to do something a little bit different here for this section of the presentation. I'm going to show you some setup here on my 3D printer. I just had the notion, I already started doing the supports on these and the hollowing on these. So I'll finish it here and then I'll do the next piece so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the bottom pan. You can see that I hollowed it. I hollowed it with a 3.3 millimeter shell right here, but I dug in holes, so I'll do that on the next piece. And I did the same for these feet. This is the flight version, by the way, of the ET Starship. So these feet, you'll see, let's get a little more into focus here. These feet are hollowed, 3.3 millimeter shells, hollowed with, and I've already supported these so you can't really see it yet, but I've got a hole. Actually, we can see it if I do this. If I slice through, you can see that there's a drain hole right here, and I'll show you what that's so important. Okay, and then we've got, these are the engines. I need 9 of these. This is the flight version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. Okay, and I'll just spend a few minutes lining these up on the bed. And then we'll start from scratch on the next build plate. And you didn't get to see the beginning of that, so let me go ahead and start a new project where you can see me do the other parts from scratch. Actually, let's bring in 2 things. We're going to bring in the language ring with LED rails and center ring with all wire channels. Okay, so let's take these. Let's go over to our move function. Select individual. Let's get him out of our way. So let's go ahead and work on this. So I'm going to rotate this up. That's fine. And I'm going to do a hollow feature on this. So we go hollow. I'm set at 3.3, which is fine. We're going to start that. Let's have a look. Okay, so we can see now that this piece is hollow all the way through. This piece isn't. We'll work on that one next. Okay, so we're hollow. So that's fine. That's going to not use as much resin if it was compared if it was solid. But what we need to do is insert drain holes. If you print this as is, it might print perfectly, just fine. But you're going to have resin trapped on the inside. We don't want that. We want to hollow out. We want to make sure that that resin has a place to drain out. So we're going to add a hole. Right now I'm at 10.5 millimeters. I can increase that. Let's make 15 millimeter holes. Pretty substantial. So we're just going to knock holes in. You can see here, I just knocked a hole there. Let's do let's do 3 holes. 1 there. 1 here, maybe let's do 4 holes, and 1 there. Heck, it doesn't really matter. The more holes you have, the easier you'll be able to clean inside, and maybe even use an LED torch to get in there and clean it out, cure it out. Okay, so from here at this point, I'm going to go over to my support menu. I've got this pretty much at default settings. My density is 68. I'm going to hit 2 platform. Let this cook that. Let's have a look here. Alright, here is our supports. So it seems that there'll be some sanding to do down here. Less sanding on this side. Alright, I am happy enough with this as a test. As a test print. It's hollow, we have drain holes. Okay, we're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and set this out of our way. Let's bring this guy in. Rotate it up. Alright, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that hollow feature. 3.3 walls. Let's have a look here. Okay, so it's a little bit. It saves a bit of resin. And because we hollowed that, we need to drill in drain holes. 15 millimeter, that'll be way too big. Let's go to 10 millimeter hole. Add hole. See what this looks like. Maybe a little smaller. Let's do an 8 millimeter hole. I like that better. So let's take another look. So we're hollow from here to here, which means that affords me room to put the drain holes across this rim. I'm going to go over here to the support tab. Hit to platform. Again, this is mostly default settings. Okay, very good. We'll have some sanding to do here. Very little sanding to do there. Drain holes, it's hollowed. All right, we are set. Let's go ahead and see if we can get both of these. I may have to print these on separate build plates. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a way to get this onto one build plate. I'd like to show you this texturing. It's really interesting the way this is textured. So it's great. It prints fantastic. Texture looks great on the prints. You'll be surprised to see when you zoom in that it's really just it's a bunch of added topography, like mountains. And the closer you get, when you get really close, it's just a bunch of like triangles, spiky, like mountain ranges. Kind of weird, to think that this will print as the texture you see on my prints, but when you zoom in here, it's like a microscopic view of this giant mountain range, but trust me, this thing prints just fine. It's interesting to see the topography of parts in your slicing software versus what you get out of your printer. It amazes me. And let's go ahead and continue this build plate number 2. I'm going to come into import. We are going to select a couple things here. Let's do the antenna top, the ET figures, and the bottom engine. Stick these guys in here. Oops, let's go ahead and just single select. Alright, so I'm going to grab this, arrange him over to the corner. Let's work on this engine. Let me show you how I'll set this up. This does not need to be hollowed. The walls are already thin. It's already a hollowed piece. But I will pitch this up, move it into positions over here where I've got some space. We'll go into our support, and from here this one is just really easy. There's no hollowing, there's no draining needed. I'm just going to support this to platform under my default settings. And that looks terrific. We'll go with that. And then let me just do these last two here. The antenna. I'm going to rotate this just a little this way. I'm going to pitch it just a little bit. The ET guys, same thing. We're just going to pitch these a little bit. No hollowing necessary. Let's that support these. Looks good to me. You'll notice these guys have slightly different poses. Slightly longer neck here for this guy. His right arm is up here. His left arm is up here. His left arm is doing a funny point here with the pitched head. A little bit different on these guys, just for some variety. And then just for one more sample here, this antenna. He might need a little custom adjustment. Let's go ahead and see what he looks like with an auto support. That's pretty good. One of the tricks in Chitobox is if you go directly under the piece, you can see where the supports are. I think I might add just one more here, maybe one more here, and that's fine. Let's go for it. Alright, I might add a few more parts to this build plate, and let's go ahead and see how this does. Here is a look at the dome. This is about to go onto the printer. Standard settings. You can see why I scaled this the way I did. This is an 8-inch circumference, I'm sorry, an 8-inch diameter dome. Standard supports. And there is the dome. These are just suggestions. You can set up your parts as you see fit. I'm just showing you an example of how I'm doing my pieces. But go ahead and do your favorite routines and have fun with this model kit. I am going to show you guys a little sample here of what you can do. One of my clients asked me, "Can you cut out the door, or do you have an option for the lower hole with the round opening missing?" And let me show you how you can do that on your own with the hole tool. So this is Chitobox 1.9. Over here we can dig a hole. And I've already hollowed this. I've done this so many times on the other parts, you guys don't really need me to show this to you. But I hollowed it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drain holes. And I'm going to use that same hole tool. It looks like I need to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to just knock a hole right through that hatch. Alright, so now we can pop a light into that area right there. We can do another hole right here and put a little tube inside here. A lot of different options. Don't be limited to what the STL files are. You can always change them. All right, hey guys, let me know if is any of this information helpful. Am I just wasting my time? Is anyone watching these? Me setting up these parts? Is any of that helpful? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to take this moment to thank you for clicking this video. I appreciate your support. Feel free to leave a comment. If you enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.